So hi there again. In this video I'm going to go over 11's board, which is based on board, which I went over in the first video. Let's take a look at 11's board. So again, we import util list and array list. This class, 11's board, extends board. We define the board size as a private static final constant, basically. 9. Number of cards. We use this method of populating the arrays that will be used to make the deck. Again, we went over this before, so I don't need to do that. Now, the constructor of 11's board calls the superconstructor. And it passes in board size ranks. So it's points values. So these board size is 9, and then these populated arrays with these values. And board then creates the deck and all that stuff. Okay, so then we have here this @override. This isn't a Twitter handle, but rather just an indication that these methods, which have @override in front, in fact, are overriding methods in the superclass, in the subclass, sorry. So, is legal. I won't go over this. This is just a way of determining whether there is a legal option for the player at this point. And if so, it will return a call to contains, well, it basically returns a call to this method, which is a Boolean method, if it finds a pair that equals 11, right, for this particular game. For another game, that would be different. And if selected card size equals 3, it returns, it checks to see if it contains JQK. This is the selected cards that the user chooses using the graphical user interface. You notice that that's passed into this method, is legal, from somewhere in the graphical user interface code. We don't even need to worry about it for our purposes. Then we have another play is possible. So this this takes returns true or false depending upon whether there's an acceptable pair or it contains or the hand contains a Jack, Queen, King. So basically, right, because the user is playing the game, the user is selecting the cards, this determines whether there's a possible, if the cards that the user selected is legal, right, the cards contained in the list of integers indicating the positions within the array that the user chose. If that's a legal selection for this game, then it returns true, and the cards are will eventually be removed. And this method simply says, is another play possible? So obviously before this one is done, is called, is legal, this one computer checks to see, is there a pair that adds up to 11, or is there a Jack, Queen, King? Right? And again, dealing with this list of integer objects which correspond to the positions in the array of the user, which represents the user's hand. So contains pair sum. This is very similar to what I did. We're just looking for two cards that add up to 11. I'm not going to go through this. And this is also very similar to what I did with my looking for Jack, Queen, and King, right? Not exactly the same, but very similar. Okay, so this is straightforward. You should, if you're interested, go through this and check it out. But I've already basically done this once, so no need to do it again. Okay. So let's just look at 11's GUI runner. So when this is started up, the main method, we make a new board, and that board, a new board reference, and that board references contains a new 11's board, references a new 11's board object. And we make a new reference to a card game GUI, and we say new in that, and then we make a new card game GUI board with this particular board, and we call GUI.displayGame. So that there must be something in the display game of, let's take a look at that. Card game GUI. Sorry, wasn't really planning on opening these up. It's probably near the top. Let's shoot up to the top. There's the constructor, display game. Okay. And this is, all the stuff to do all the graphics, plus an occasional call in here to our methods of the let's look at here, of lowercase board here, which is our 11's board class, right? Which also contains obviously all the methods of the board class because it's a superclass. All right. Let's see, anything else? No, I think that's it. I do feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll be going over this again tomorrow, so anything else I will pick up then, okay? Hope that's helpful. We'll have more tomorrow. Keep doing those review questions from the review books, okay?